No problem. And I just got a text from Lydia, who is starting this call. She's on the phone with a student. Why is a student services person on the phone with a student? Anyway, all right, you guys. So I'm going to move on to my next agenda item and see if Lydia can join us for her topic. Sorry, Carson, for changing everything. That's why I got the text. So next item on the agenda is VPN. Do I have Sam on the phone?
Okay.
Carson, you can turn over the screen, and Lydia, it's all you.
Okay. Well, Carson is driving the screen because I am driving, and that would be not safe. So I wanted to talk to you guys just a minute concerning our retention. I know we are all over, all of you, about contacting students and pushing students and updating your program directors and updating me on students. And I wanted to let you know why. I mean, we all know that we have to increase our retention. It's what we're charged with by our accrediting body. It's what Vista wants to see. And we have really aggressive goals for this year as far as our retention goes. So we've been monitoring. We set a goal in December to get to 70% retention by November. And that's an aggressive goal, very aggressive. But we're moving towards that. I mean, our retention started in the middle of last year. I mean, it bottomed out at like in the 50s, in the low 50s. And we have crawled out of that hole, and we are now in this over 60% retention, which for us is high. It's the highest we've ever been. And it takes a lot to get there. And a lot of that comes from you guys and your constant outreach and your constant contact of students, advising students. And I wanted you guys to know that that is paying off. We're seeing results. With that being said, I know we are nitpicky when it comes to our students of concern sheets that you all love to hate, and probably love to hate me when it comes to those. So we've discovered a couple of things that I need you guys to do to continue to push towards that retention goal. And Carson, if you can go to our students of concern sheet instructions, that would be fantastic. A couple of things I just want to mention to you guys as reminders. Most people are turning theirs in on time. Excellent work. Everybody is now using the same sheet in the right format. Thank you so much. That makes my life and Deidre's life 1,000 times easier when we're combining them, if everyone is the same. One thing I have noticed is that sometimes we're leaving students off. So who should be included in your students of concern sheet? So anybody under 70%, we've talked about that. Students who aren't submitting work, students who have a change in their pattern, or something comes up and you notice their work falls off, students who reach out to you for an issue, anybody that you just get that gut feeling like there's something going on with this student. And many of you have been teaching for a while, so I know you get those gut feelings. And last but not least, and this is the one that is really most important to me, is any student that is in a SAP status. I need these students on here because I advise these students weekly, either by email or phone. And if you guys have it all on there, on that sheet, I don't have to go anywhere else. I look at your sheet, I call the student and I say, hey, you're doing great. You have an A, keep it up, fantastic. My call's complete. If the student is failing, then I know that right off the bat, and I know that I need to make that student a top priority without having to go look up the student and look how they're doing in class. It just makes my life a lot easier, and it helps us in monitoring these students. So what happens a lot is those students that are doing well, they get left off. And so I forget to call them. And that's not fair to those students either. They still need a constant push even if they're doing well. So are there any questions about the students of concern sheets or how to do them? Or who should go on them, or even what to put on them?
Lydia, this is Ann. And as you know, I'm hardcore about trying to keep these kids in, but the hardest thing I have is finding them. What is with telephone numbers with these folks? They give you all their registration phones and then they change it 2 seconds later and nobody can find them. I have one student's been missing offline for 7 days now and I can't find her. I emailed her, text her, call her, and I can't find her. Is there an easy way to know who to call besides yourself or Deidre to see if there's another number or a different aspect to get to them?
Unfortunately, that is just the nature of our students. I mean, some of them change phone numbers more than you and I change clothes. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. And their phone numbers are disconnected, and they may be disconnected one day, but then they work 3 days later.
Yeah.
So if you want to see if there's additional contacts, like financial aid gets backup numbers for them, a lot of times Deidre and I call people's mamas. I have no problem calling your mama and asking where to find you.
So if we send you that name and say, this is one I'm really having a hard time finding, you guys can stick somebody on it?
Yes, we can get that from financial aid. And a lot of times I have a Facebook account that I use strictly for students. It has very little of my personal information on it other than my lovely face. And I use that to hunt down students all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't have a phone, but by golly, they know how to use Facebook. So it works.
I resist the Facebook idea, but okay.
But if you send me a student that you're having a lot of trouble with and say, hey, can you give Facebook a shot? I'm happy to do that. Because again, I keep that Facebook page simply for Vista students.
Okay.
That's
Great.
how we found a student last month that we were missing. Like, she was completely MIA. And the only reason we found her was because Lydia Facebooked her.
Okay. Well, I'll send you that here in a little while.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, Lydia, do you want to remind them about the abbreviation thing for the programs? I don't remember if you said that or not.
I did not. And I know this is confusing too, because I think these directions that Carson is showing says don't abbreviate, but we have decided that it is okay now to abbreviate the program that students are in. So for like MIBC, you can put MIBC. You don't have to write out the entire program. The key to that is making sure everyone is doing it the same way. So if everybody agrees to abbreviate, cool, abbreviate it. Because I use that to sort and figure out who is in what program. So that's okay now. We can change that. Carson, if you actually wouldn't mind like sending me a note at some point reminding me to update this, I will be happy to do that to the abbreviations and change the directions.
Okay, I'll send that over to you.
Thank you. Any other questions about the student of concern sheet or really anything student services related while I'm on the phone?
Lydia, I just wanted to offer the assistance while I'm in the office. If you guys need my help trying to find other connections for students, I'm always willing to help.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Lydia, this is Neil. Just a question that Sherry will probably appreciate because I've blown her up a few times over getting new phone numbers from students. And since I don't have access, I don't believe to go in and edit Campus View. Is it better to send those new phone numbers when we get those to our department chairs, or is it better to send them directly to you? What's the best process just to make sure that, people aren't doing work that they don't need to be doing?
Well, that's a good question. Program directors, do you guys have permissions to edit Campus View?
No.
We do not.
Okay, so then you can send that, Neil, you can send those to me or Deidre. I think we both have permission to edit Campus View. So just send them to me. I'm happy to update them.
I can do that. Thanks for the clarification.
It's an easy cut and paste. It takes like 2 seconds, so that's fine.
Great.
Any other questions, guys?
Lydia, thanks for joining the call and adding to it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Okay, so this is going over my plan. All right, Carson, everyone is waiting for it. The AR award. It is time. But we had great conversation, and all of you guys, that's why you are the greatest team, because this is what we do for every 5 weeks on the 444. So here's the award. Carson, you ready?
I'm ready.
There it is. Cassandra.
Hey.
Congratulations.
I could not be more proud of Cassandra. Cassandra has totally kicked butt. Her retention rate is 95%. She deals with students that I never have to go in her classroom and call anyone, because if I say the name, she tells me exactly what they're doing, exactly what they have done, and exactly what I'm pretty sure she can tell me what they had for breakfast yesterday. She is amazing. She has been here absolutely a year, and every single month is consistent. I trust her with my new students, which is a huge step for me, as you all know. She is amazing, and I thank her for her year of service.
Cassandra, you can come off mute now.
Thank you. Sorry, I was talking and it was muted.
We've all been there.
More than once. Cassandra, congratulations. Your name has come up more than once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm like, okay, it's time. It is time. So,
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
recognition is important. Now, with all of that, now, Carson, let's get down to business because we have something really cool coming, which is Canvas.
Real quick, let me do a double check on roll before Carson jumps in, and then we'll be good to go.
Perfect.
Thank you. If I say your name, if you're on the call, let me know. James Fountain, Madison Watts.
Yes, I'm on the call.
James is on?
Yeah, I've been on the call the whole time.
Madison Watts, Marissa May, Mark McCoy, Monica Lee. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah, for that reminder because I did forget because I'm excited for Carson to show Canvas. Carson, it's your show now.
Thanks, Veronica. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Excellent.
Oh my gosh, is this our actual thing? That is awesome.
Yes, this is actual real life stuff here.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see, where to begin? First of all, probably most importantly, is let's talk about when this rolls out because there has been a minor change, maybe major view, but it has been decided to actually roll this out on June 26th rather than the upcoming start at the end of this month. To make a real long story short, we have so many teams of individuals that we're dealing with, so many parts and pieces to integrate together to make sure everything works seamlessly. And having said that, we just simply need some more time. We need some more time for testing specifically, just to make sure everything works well. So it's a good positive experience for our students and a good positive experience for you as instructors and staff and faculty members. So that's the reason. So just keep that on your calendar. Again, the new rollout date is June 26th. Now, having said that, this is going to give you guys some more time to go in and play in Canvas. One thing I do want to mention as well, guys, is if for whatever reason you have not seen an invite to Canvas, then please email me as soon as possible so we can get an invite sent out to you. We did upload the team quite some time ago, and you should have had access for a few weeks actually, and we see that many of you have gone in countless numbers of times, looking and learning. But if you are one of those who either you missed that email because it's an auto-generated email asking you to create and finish your registration, please email me as soon as you're able, and we'll get that fixed for you. Okay, now having said that, what this session is for really is to answer questions. Also show you guys a few features, some of which are not native to Canvas, but other services that we will be using in Canvas. And we'll kind of go from there. So it's kind of a Q&A and a little bit of a show and tell type situation. So let's get started. I have a few different topics I want to cover. I'm going to try to make this as orderly as possible. So I'll go through certain topics. I'll ask for any questions or comments about certain topics, and then we'll just kind of go from there and proceed from there. If at the end there are questions that haven't been answered yet, please feel free to ask those questions at that time. So the first thing that we are going to talk about quickly is the dashboard. So I know it sounds like about 50 to 60% of the faculty are familiar already with Canvas. So those of you that are familiar, hopefully you can still stay with this and not fall asleep. There possibly are some features that maybe you haven't seen before, such as our new plagiarism detection party that we're going to be using, Unplague. I'll show you a quick demo of that, and of course Dropout Detective. But having said that, dashboard. So here's the dashboard, guys. If you're not already familiar with this, you log in, you see all your courses, and that's what we're looking at right now. Now, a few things on the dashboard I want to mention quickly. That is, obviously, you can see all your courses that you're logged into. You can also, customize how they look, colors and images and things like that, which is kind of fun. You can create your own separate image for your course based on these, dashboard picks. But more importantly is with the dashboard, is you have a to-do list over here on the far right side. This is great and very different. Similar to what we have with Moodle, but very different in that it really stands out. It's very condensed. It's not this big, huge list of garbage, for lack of a better term. But we can see exactly what we need to do as far as grading items, for example. We'll get into grading in just a little bit, but you can pop right into grading just by clicking on any of these to-do items. The next thing is the coming up list. So you'll notice a little further down we have a coming up section. And this is, well, what's coming up, what you have to look forward to. So again, a nice, obvious, streamlined place for all this information to go. The next item I wanted to quickly mention is the calendar. Now you can pop over to your calendar over here underneath your to-do list, but you also have a calendar icon in your left navigation pane. I'm going to just quickly jump over there because there are a couple things I would like to show you. And after I show the calendar, I'll ask for any dashboard questions at that time. So what's really nice with the calendar is, again, you can see what's coming up, your students can see what's coming up, and you can post your own announcements and items as well on the calendar. So if you have multiple courses, you're going to see multiple courses. for example, I'm going to hop over to June here real quick because I've got a bunch of stuff in June going on. But you can just see it's very, very visible, nice and easy to see. You can even select or click on certain items within the calendar and jump right over to the course. What's kind of cool with the calendar is when you select certain items, it's going to give you what it is, all the details about that item. It'll show you what course it belongs to, and you can hop right into the course from the calendar. Students can do this as well. They're going to see this also. So it's just a quick way for them to look at a calendar type layout and jump right into that course and that activity. Now, you can add items, that you can create new events here, and it's pretty nice. You can title it whatever you'd like, put it whatever date, whatever time you want that to show. What's really nice is on the calendar, again, if you have multiple courses, you can assign it to a specific course. It's kind of fun to create those items there. So that's the calendar, adding events to the calendar, looking at course details, and then your to-do list on the dashboard. Anybody have any questions about the dashboard items? Okay, then we're going to go to the next one, which is announcements. Now, when you jump into a course, and if a student jumps into the course, and I'm going to give a shout out to Kimberly Bosley. So Kimberly is doing a real great job in her job as instructional designer. She's actually going through and creating from scratch all of these home pages with these links below, so the students can jump to specific weeks if they would like, or they can just jump into the whole course as a whole. But she's doing all of this work, all this design work. She's doing a great job. Students will see the announcements underneath this home page area, and they'll be able to view all announcements from you there. So just an FYI as far as what they're going to see. Now, as far as navigation goes, you can navigate in the left. You can select certain, you could select assignments and see the whole list of assignments. You can select quizzes and see the whole list of quizzes. So that's one way you can navigate. The other way is you can navigate using this module link on the left. And what that does is basically gives you kind of the modular look that we're used to seeing, Moodle in, for example. Seeing the categories of week 1, week 2, so on and so forth. But that's one way that you can navigate through your course. Now, announcements are right up here below modules. And announcements is a great way to communicate, obviously, with your course. And you simply just click on Add Announcement to add an announcement. It's pretty simple. You can post delaying if you want certain announcements to pop during certain times. Gives you full control. You have full editing, rich content editing. You can add YouTube videos straight from this rich content editor. You can pop in documents from your Google or your shared drive or OneDrive if you're using Microsoft, and so many other items. This is really the most fun part, in my opinion, of Canvas, is really being able to add interesting things quickly. So that's how you add announcements, and you simply select Save, and your announcement will deploy either at that time or whatever date you gave it. So when you go in, guys, the easiest way really to learn this system is just to get in and play around and have some fun. And I'll show you a new sandbox area I created for you guys just this afternoon that you can go in and play with from a teacher's perspective now. So that is announcements. Does anybody have any question about announcements?
Yeah, Carson, I just put a message through in case.
Yeah.
Can we do little videos in MP4? Did I see that on the little?
Okay, everyone calm down because the chat room is blowing up. Carson, I'm over the chat room.
Yes.
I'm monitoring the chat room as best I can. Yes, everyone's excited about Canvas. I have a question about types of reports, which I know you'll get to. Can we do a little video in MP4?
In the announcements,
Oh, in the announcement.
right? Is that what that little film thing is right there?
Yeah, so you can record your own media right there. You know, you can basically, what it will do is you select allow, and it's going to connect to your webcam and microphone. Right now it's not detecting because I'm using my camera for this meeting. But yes, you can create really quick off-the-cuff videos and post them to your students daily if you wanted to. It's very quick, easy, and you're not going to have to create something in Screencast-O-Matic, upload it to YouTube, and then embed it, you know, which is ridiculous. So,
Carson, I have the next question. Will students receive emails when we post announcements? They like chat today for some reason.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. As far as alerts are concerned, yes. One thing I'll quickly mention, and students will go through this in their orientation, and if you haven't, check this out as well, updating your profile. As far as update, your profile is pretty fun to update, and you have, you know, different areas and sections within your profile. But I want to point over here onto the right-hand side here. You can add additional email addresses, so can students. You can also add different contact methods, such as your cell phone number. Now, it's not visible to the individual, but you can use SMS to where they and you can put in your cell phone numbers, select your carrier, and what's really nice is you will get text alerts if you choose to have them, and so can they. So when you change something or update something or even grade something, they can receive text alerts as well as email alerts if they choose. And so that's where the student would set that up, is right in their profile settings. All right, Veronica, any more? Yeah.
Carson, I don't want to gloss over types of reports from Keith. I'm not clear what he's asking. So Keith, I need more information to answer your question.
Sure. I was just asking, like, types of student reports, how often they go online, you know, can we track, like, you know, metric wise, can we see just, you know, that's one portion of it. The second portion would be, you know, is there an actual, like, report to say that people have been active during the week, so that we can say, like, yep, I can, you know, like, put that in my report for the SAP report or student of concern report. Is there anything that I can use that this has as far as an update for the student of concern report? Is there an automated student of concern report? Like, what reports does it have, I guess, overall to help us out?
All right.
Carson, are you grinning ear to ear now?
We've got more than enough ammunition for all you guys on this. Keith, that's a good question. And actually, it was the next on my list, so perfect timing. Yes, analytics are very robust. I'm going to take a couple different approaches here. First of all, let's take a look at people. So over here in this right navigation, you have the people link. This is going to give you your roster, right? So there are a couple things here, including analytics. So I'm going to circle back around, and then I'll get in. Maybe I'll jump to Dropout Detective as well. So okay, here is our list here. I put a bunch of students in here with you guys. These are just demo students, and I uploaded a bunch of stuff so you guys could actually test grading and using the speed grader and stuff. And I'll get to that in a minute as well. I don't think we're going to have enough time. I'll try to rush as much as I can. But for example, Natalie Baker, if you select Natalie Baker, there's a new item that we enabled not too long ago. It's a student card. And basically, it gives you a real quick thumbnail of what that student is doing. There's, as you can see, Keith and everybody else, there's an analytics button right here, which gives you really quick analytics of the individual. Now, these analytics are native to Canvas that you're looking at. It'll give you all kinds of stuff. Activity by date, of course. I was just in there with her today, but quite a bit of participation there. You can see communication. So when you're messaging back and forth, you can see student and and instructor responses back and forth. Again, you have your little keys over here. You got your submissions of when individuals are submitting or what needs to be submitted in the future. Grades, how they're performing. So there's that, first of all, that's native in Canvas. But what you also have is Dropout Detective. Now, we don't have access to it yet. It's not turned on. It's integrated, but not turned on yet. And it's going to be right here for the instructors. The students will not see this. It'll be hidden to them. But Dropout Detective is going to give you so much power. You'll know where your students are. Keith, let me just point you to a resource in this course currently. Oh, I popped out a little too far. Sorry. Let me go back to the modules. I just added this not too long ago, right under Dropout Detective. Look through this stuff. This gives you everything you'll need to know. Screenshots, explanations for everything, so you can conceptually see how it works. But you will be able to actually use it, in Canvas day one of the June 26th start.
And Carson, I'm going to interrupt because we have a seasoned team that already knows Dropout Detective, and this is where they start talking. Because in service, that's where they talk.
Right. Any questions about analytics or Dropout? Really, ask any questions that you do have, but I will tell you that all of this information should be able to answer anything you've got.
Sure, Carson, one more follow-on question. With the analytics and the tracking, and it seems pretty robust, is there an integration into Campus View to track so that we don't have to go back and forth and put that information in, or is that going to be continued in the future as well?
Man, that's a good one.
The number one question of the day.
Yeah. Veronica just gave you a star. You just got a gold star from Veronica on that question. Yeah, the answer is yes. Dropout Detective, they're creating another solution for us, and very quickly how that solution works is when you go through Dropout Detective, you'll notice as you're studying it that there is area to put in notes for your students. And the question is, well, can we get those notes into Campus View? Short answer to a long question is yes. That will happen every morning of every day. All of those notes will be sent through an SFTP server. Campus View will grab that and assimilate that information so that all that stuff, when you guys record into Dropout, is going to automatically be in Campus View every morning of every day. It's going to be sweet. Yes, double thumbs up. All right, that's a good.
Just saying.
Well, Veronica asked the question initially, so I can't take credit, but I'm glad she did because we got the solution and we're very excited about it. Okay, let's see here. What else did I want to show you guys in here? Oh, really quick, I know a couple more chats came through, and I'll stop here in just a minute, but back to this people area, I don't want to gloss over this, as Veronica says a lot. Messaging students, communicating with students. You can go right through your people area into your roster, and you have a little envelope. That's one way you can message students. You will also be able to message them through Dropout Detective, just so you know. Now, the other and last thing before I answer a couple more questions is let's look at this inbox area real quick, because here is how you mass message the whole course, your whole student body in that particular course. Basically, you simply go in there. You're going to select whatever course you're teaching at that time. I'm going to select the Canvas training course. You can select, you come over here, select create a new message. And what's really nice is this too. You can select, students or teachers, for example. Select all students. We got 4 of them. Put a subject, put a message, send, and that will send to your entire student body for that particular course.
I'm sorry, Carson. Will that message go into Campus View as well? maybe?
No, I don't believe it does. I
Okay.
don't believe it does. I'll check on it, Ann, but I'm
Keith is laughing.
on that one. Okay, let me look at the chats real quick. Let's see here. Great question. Yes. Okay, these are just comments more so. Okay, cool. We'll soldier on. We've got 9 minutes, it looks like. Okay, so that's people, the student card we've talked about, messaging, the inbox we've talked about, messaging through the card we've talked about, grading. Let's jump to grading now. Unless there are any additional questions about messaging or your student roster through the people link, any additional questions there? Okay, I'll let Tim know. Okay, let's look at grading. Again, I want to point you back to this training course because this will end up being our IRC eventually. We continue to build it, but this academics work area, this is all the information about Gradebook and about SpeedGrader. I highly recommend, if you haven't already, take a look at these. These will answer all the questions that you might have for that. I do want to mention this Canvas instructor guide. This is so awesome. The instructor guide is great. It has everything you could ever want or even think of. Again, there's one for students as well that they can use. And you can just go through all of this and select whatever you want to see or learn about, and it will give you everything you need as far as that goes. So I did want to mention that that quickly. Okay, back to the course. I'm still getting used to this LMS. I keep jumping back too far. Okay, let's look at, okay, so grading. As far as grading goes, grading is pretty simple. Again, when you're on your dashboard, you're going to have everything you need to grade right here, first of all, so you can jump right into it. But also from a course perspective, you have, a grade option here, which will take you to your grade book. It's a pretty intuitive process. Canvas is, I've learned. It's a nice looking grade book. You can jump to any item straight through the grade book if you'd like. You can see little icons if something still needs to be graded versus something that already has been graded. One thing, like Natalie Baker, for example, I wanted to jump in and show you this sandbox area that I just put in today for you guys to mess with. So when you guys get in next, you're going to be instructor status. You've been student status up until today. This sandbox area, take a look at. This is a test course that actually Canvas created, and I just pulled some stuff out of it. Look through all of this stuff. We have discussion questions. We've got a couple assignments, a couple of quizzes, and then just some informational pages here. But I suggest you take a look at them. We have an example of a paper with a rubric or an assignment with a rubric. We've got an assignment here using Unplag, and I'm going to demonstrate Unplag for you quickly. But if you need to, again, if you need to grade anything, I really think either going from your dashboard or just going straight to grade, and you can kind of take a look at who needs what graded. You can simply select this, for example. This is a discussion question, and on everything that you need to grade, you're going to have. Let's see here. This is in my way. Hang on one sec, guys. There we go. You're going to have this icon up here, which is your SpeedGrader, and here's where you can grade all of the items. So you have all your students up here. You can toggle back and forth with. You can see how many ungraded items you have and the average of the students. You just pop the grade in and put any comments and submit. You can also add video grading or video comments if you want. This is actually a speech-to-text feature right here. If you don't want to type your comments, you can just say them, which is kind of fun. And then once you submit a grade, you can then, go to the next student and then grade that individual. So it is pretty intuitive. So that's the speed grader as far as that goes. Okay.
Speed grader is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very, very nice. Okay, now one thing I wanted to show you guys really quick, we've got about 4 minutes, is I'm going to log in as a student. I want to show you Unplague. Unplague is our solution to Turnitin, which, let's be honest, I think we all hate it. I know I do. Just because it throws so many errors. It's so fickle. Unplague is a third-party Canvas partner, and they do a great job. It looks like a total native product to Canvas, even though it isn't. It doesn't look any different than any of the other assignments either. So I'm logged in as Natalie here. I'm just going to go into the course. And just really quickly, I'm going to jump down to the sandbox area. This is the Unplague assignment here. As you can see, it looks no different than any other assignment. The difference is this, but it's very intuitive. Turnitin is not intuitive. When you look at this, you can say, oh, I need to add a file. Okay, let's do that. What's great is they can add straight from their Google Drive, Dropbox, their OneDrive, wherever they need to pull stuff from, they can. I'm just going to quickly select my computer. And let's go to my desktop. I had a Declaration of Independence. Okay, I created this assignment a little earlier. You can see here that the assignment loads. We're going to select Final Submission. Now, when we do this, this is where the automation takes place. If you notice up here, you'll see it will refresh every few seconds automatically as it kind of digests this file, as it does its similarity check. Currently with Turnitin, you've got to manually keep hitting it until the similarity appears, right? This will automatically do it. We can see we've got one file successfully submitted. You can submit multiple files, by the way, simultaneously. Here it goes. Now we can see our similarity, 82.2%, and only 17.8 original. So that's what the student sees. Now, if I stop mass grading the student, we can take a look really quick at what you guys do. The speed grader, all of this is going to load up inline. And you can see all of the information you need, what your originality is, what your borrowed information is, and you can even go to these links and click on just to show you. And what that's going to do is going to pull up another page and show you exactly where they pull it from. So we can see here how many words they borrowed and from what site. So you can get very specific with it. And the student can do the same thing here, guys. So it's not like it's a big secret. They have the same available to them. Again, you just can grade it, put in your comments, and then submit your comments. So that is Unplagued. It's nice, very streamlined. All right. Any questions, guys?
Okay, where's your...
Okay.
Carson,
Okay. Yes.
Keith had a really good question. Is there any data conversion coming over in this transition to Canvas, or emails and classes and everything? Is this going to be a clean start?
This was a good question. This will be a clean start. We did ask that question as well, and all this will be
very careful with this. You're gonna lose the stuff. Okay, can somebody go on mute? I understand it's your hours, and children need to be handled. Thank you.
So Carson, with that, is there a recommendation to if we like our prior class material and our discussion stuff, what's the recommendation then to kind of capture that? Should we just get it on our own and then store it, or is it stored somewhere where we could like archive and we could get it?
Okay, I may have misunderstood your question. Now you're talking about course content, right? Not student data.
No, not student data. I'm talking about like when they message me, like I have all that kind of tracked right now. So that's in kind of a little thing. And then I also have my courses as well that I've had the discussion posts and things things I want to put out there, the videos that I've added to questions and things like that. Like, is that archived somewhere so I can go back and reach back and be like, yeah, I like that video for that course? Or should I just take that and be like, I can create my own documents. I'm fine with it. I just want to know where to store it or where to get it from.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. We did migrate all the courses over to Canvas, so all the content, of course, will be the same as what everyone has, that will be the same. The structure will be the same in the weekly format and all of that. As far as pulling stuff, certain messages, like through Messenger, through the Moodle Messenger, there's no way to pull that over. So whatever you need from there, you're just going to have to grab it, go back and look in your history and grab that stuff. Would be my recommendation, because it just doesn't sync over from Moodle to Canvas. Anything else as far as responses you've done with discussion questions? Again, that's a clean start. That will be nowhere in Canvas, so you're going to have to kind of run back and grab it and either save it to your device or an external hard drive or something. All right. Well, guys, I know we're a couple minutes over the time. We definitely didn't have enough information, but what I do want to emphasize is get into Canvas, check out the Canvas training course that we've been looking at. A bunch of information is in there. Mess around with it. Go into the sandbox section, just created today. Mess with the speed grader. Everything that you want to do. Maybe posting announcements. Giving feedback, mess with all that stuff. If you run into any issues or you have questions, shoot me and Kimberly an email, and we will answer those questions for you. And I'm sure we'll have more conversations going forward as the time rolls on. So thank you, everyone, for your participation. Veronica, back to you.
Thanks, Carson. Excellent presentation. You guys, a very exciting time. All of you are very excited, obviously, and engaged. And this is a great team to make all of it happen. So I appreciate you guys hanging out 3 minutes over. And I'll see all of you online. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.